Did you expect the attacks you got?
No, I honestly did not see a lot of it coming. I also, I knew what I was doing, but I really didn't understand.
Yeah.
I think that we focus on giving our children like expensive things and not creating special moments with our children. It's a little bit of everything. You do have your moment of weakness where you're like, I'm not going to do this anymore, because you feel like you're being skinned.
Yes.
And that everything is just coming at you.
This is Unshaken and Unafraid with Joe Pags.
She's been in Congress, then she was out of Congress, running for Congress again. The first female born outside of this country, I believe, we're going to talk to her in a second about it, to serve in Congress of the United States of America. It is Mayra Flores, running for District 34, Republican, great state of Texas, where we're sitting. Mayra, so good to see you in person.
Good to see you in person.
We've been friends for how long?
Years. I feel like I know you. I saw you just now, and I was like, I just felt like I've known you all my life. Yes.
Well, and I feel like I've known you forever as well. Yes. But this is the first time we actually met in the same place. I love that you're running again. And I want to get into that in earnest in a second. But were you the first female born outside of the United States, or first female born in Mexico to serve in Congress?
Yes, first Mexican-born congresswoman ever elected in history.
So let's go back 24 years ago when you were born. And let's talk about, you're born in Mexico. Your parents, obviously hardworking people. We just talked about your dad a minute ago. When do you come here? How did that process go? Do you remember it?
Oh, absolutely. So my dad's an American citizen, so he was able to file for us to come here to the United States.
Right.
But my mom didn't want to come here to the United States. He fell in love with my mom. My mom wanted to stay in Mexico, close to her parents. So it was a struggle for her to be convinced to come here to the United States. But my dad said, our daughters will have better opportunities in the United States. It's time to go. And I remember going to the elementary school there in Burgos and telling my friends that I'm going to el otro lado, the other side.
Okay.
And that's how we say it, the other side, el otro lado. And they were all just excited for me. So I felt, this is a good thing. Like everyone was celebrating an accomplishment that I would have such an opportunity, because where I'm
they
from,
were happy for you.
Yes, where I'm from, we see America as a place where dreams come true.
Right.
Where if you work hard, you can do whatever you want. Everybody dreams and wishes to one day be a part of this country. That's where I'm from. So I felt when I got here, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is America. At 6 years old, I remember crossing the port of entry.
Right.
But because my dad was an American citizen, we were able to come here to the United States, and the process was pretty easy.
It's pretty interesting. I didn't know that it's called otro lado.
El otro lado, the other side.
El otro lado, okay. Because we just say south of the border up here. We just say you're going to go to Mexico and go south of the border. So now when you come across, there's not really a big geographical change. I mean, the topography is the same. The mountains are the same. The grass is probably the same. Did it feel different to be here?
Absolutely. It's different the moment you step into this country. Absolutely. The stores.
You walk in and there's stuff everywhere.
Walmart.
Yeah, right.
There's no such thing as Walmart.
Really? I thought it was Walmarto. It's not that in Mexico?
El Globo, H-E-B. Like, no, you did not have that back in
So suddenly it's the land
Burgos.
of plenty.
And so I was blown away right away when I got here. I was excited. I did not understand, though, how hard you have to work in this country.
Yeah.
I realized that at a very young age when my dad was like, if you want Doc Martens, because I asked for Doc Martens.
Okay.
And he said, well, if you want Doc Martens, you need to earn that, because I can't afford to buy you those expensive shoes. So I started working alongside my parents. Best thing that, ever happened to me growing up is having that opportunity to work with them.
That's an interesting angle, because you saw the really nice stuff, but you couldn't automatically have it.
No.
So there it is behind like a glass case, and this is the land of opportunity. You can go and take that opportunity and go buy those if you want. Mm-hmm. But Dad said, I'm not buying them. I'm working too hard to feed the family. If you want them, go and do that. So when did you start working? Like I started working at 12 because I wanted those nice
14.
shoes.
14, hoeing in the cotton fields,
right?
Removing all the weeds out.
Wow, so you're 14 years old with a hoe?
Yes.
And you're wow. So no,
but honestly, I loved it. I loved having an opportunity to work with my mom and my dad. And my mom was the one that worked the hardest because she got up like at 4 a.m. to make breakfast, to make lunch for us. And then she would get home and make dinner, wash clothes, get ready for the next day. So my mom was the one working the hardest. I still had energy. I would get home, take a shower, and go riding bikes.
You're 14. You had all the energy, right?
After working all day in the hot sun. Right. And I loved it. I loved being able to make my own money and being able to shop. I remember going for the first time to a mall in Amarillo.
Okay.
Amarillo, Texas. Where I lived is
but Amarillo is really far north. You guys went all the way up into Texas.
Yes, in Memphis, Texas. It's a small town, and we work in the surrounding areas of Memphis, Texas. And we went to the mall there in Amarillo for the first time, and I remember going to Abercrombie and Fitch, and I remember like buying my Doc Martens. I was so proud, and I even had money left to buy my sisters as well. So I just fell in love with work, and now looking back, I'm glad my parents gave me the opportunity to have that bond with them.
Before I move on to more of your story and how you became a congressperson, let's talk about work ethic for a second. As you know, I'm like second-generation American. My grandfather came from Italy, and he showed up and just started building things. They were brick masons who came from southern Italy, and he and his brothers came here, and they were successful. They built the churches, they built the shopping malls, they built everything. So at 12, I wanted to make some money, so I went to work. What is it about people like you and me that we're not seeing in the latest generation necessarily? Some Gen Z is waking up, and some Gen Z voted for Trump and will vote for you. So they are waking up a bit.
Correct.
But is it society that told them you don't have to work like Flores did? You don't have to work like Pags did? You can just sit back and we'll feed you and we'll give you, some housing and maybe some clothing. But what do you think changed? Because you got up in the morning and said, I want those shoes. I'm going to go work for it, right?
It's the parenting.
Is that what it is?
Yes. I feel like a lot of parents, want to give their children everything, and they forget to give their children what they did have. My dad did not have, all the luxurious things. I didn't grow up in a nice home, but I grew up in a home with lots of love, plenty of food. I couldn't ask for more. Like looking back now, I built so many memories in that home, and I continue to build, memories there as well.
Right.
But I think that we focus on giving our children like expensive things and not creating special moments with our children. The latest phone, the latest tablet, the most expensive shoes, and things like that. And I just feel like even if you have the money to do so, make your children earn it so they don't suffer later on in life. And because in real life, you have to work hard for everything that you want, no matter what. And so I feel like you're setting your children up for failure if you do not teach them to earn their own money. Some way or another.
No, I'm with you. It's Mayra Flores. She's running for District 34 in the great state of Texas. Go to MayraFloresforCongress.com, right?
Yes.
Go there and go check it. She's going to be the next congresswoman from District 34 if all things go right.
Amen.
I love the work ethic. So I know you've got 2 daughters. Do you have more than 2?
Yes, I have 2 daughters and I have 2 boys.
Great. All right, so your children are growing up with the same expectation. I can have it if I work for it.
Absolutely. My oldest is actually going to the Air Force.
Wow, get out of here.
Yes, I'm super proud of
You can't have a child older than like 4. What are you talking about?
I was very young, a very young mama.
Well, God bless you. So this child is going to go into the Air Force. My dad went to the Air Force right here in San Antonio, to be honest. And it's all he talked about his entire life, his service, his time in the service. So that's going to be great for that child. How does that decision get made? And as a mom, are you cool with it?
I mean, it was difficult for me. I mean, I'm worried about my kids no matter what, but
Absolutely.
I respect him, and he has to go on and live his life the way he wants. Ultimately, I believe that you have to put yourself first. I tell him, you need to put yourself first. What do you want in life? And go work hard. If you have to leave South Texas for that, so be it. Yeah. But I tell him, don't come back to South Texas. Mama's here. But just the same way that I believe in putting myself first. I tell my children, because if I don't put myself first, they're not going to put me first, because our children are going to grow up and live their lives. And so by putting myself first and me being good, I'm a much better mom. So,
that's great. I've got 5 daughters. I don't know if you knew that or not. One of them is sitting right here, my executive producer, Sam. And the work ethic, you try to get it into your children, but it's kind of a slippery slope. And I wonder if you would comment on this. Yeah, I grew up working my face off just to try to get, those shoes or whatever it was that I wanted. So did you. And then we want to make it easier for the next generation, but we also want them to go through what we went through. So in making changes as a parent, your parents, I'm sure, were great. My parents were great, but I'm a little different than my dad was for good reason.
Yes.
Is there do you worry about teetering on that line to where I'm not teaching them exactly what I learned?
Yes, of course, because
You're a little easier on them than your dad was on you, right?
Actually, no.
Really?
So we're 4 girls as well. So my dad, wasn't very strong with discipline. He was, all about, love and, leave my little girls alone and things like that. My mom was the most, strict with us. So there's always a balance, right? And I think I got that from my mom. But I have to admit, my girls are my weakness. I was more stricter with my boys.
I got to stop you. Because those watching need to hear this. The first time I interviewed you, I think it was the first time. I think you were at the grocery store and you're like, I'm going to go back to get on Skype. And you got back to get on Skype. And I think during the interview, your daughter's heads popped up a few times in the interview. It's like, oh, who's that?
Yes.
And I think at one time I might have interviewed you from the car. Yes. And your girls were in the back seat. And they kept doing that. So I see it.
There's Milani.
Right. So there's a bit of a soft spot for the girls. And again, I've got five daughters.
Yes.
So I mean, I get that completely. But we have to be careful that we don't raise a generation that looks a lot like some of the. What role do you think social media plays? Because you and I are both on social media a lot. In fact, we share a lot of our own stuff.
Right.
And it's beneficial for what we do. But what role does that play, like in your kids' lives, and maybe for this generation? Do you think? Because I think that it might teach them an unrealistic goal set. I'm going to have a Bentley. I'm going to be Kim Kardashian or whatever.
Oh, I didn't let my sons have social media till they were older. My oldest didn't get Instagram till he was 17.
Nice. Smart.
Yeah, almost 18 years old.
Because it changes your worldview, doesn't it?
Right. Because I think that social media is only like, a small part of our lives. And so a lot of people think that, it's everything. Yeah. And it's not.
No.
It's not. I'm not saying that what I'm posting is not real. No, it is real.
Yeah.
But you're only seeing a glimpse of what my life is about. There's so much more. And so you can't, judge someone based on one post,
right,
and think that they have it easy based on one post,
right,
or because they're constantly posting pictures of them vacationing. And of course we're going to post the good things.
Yeah.
Why are we going to post the bad things?
We're not posting that we had a bad day, right?
No. And so a lot of people, think that, oh, they must be having a great time because they're always posting things, that they're doing.
Right.
And I'm not able to do that. So there's a lot of comparison. And I try my best to post what I need to post,
right,
and then, read a few comments and then get out and get.
I don't read the comments at all. I just don't. Because they can be so rude.
I know
what I mean? And I'm not going to let myself be defined by it. But
I know.
I didn't really mean your social media, which I think is very, very wholesome and very great. By the way, I think a couple of years ago, I said, please stop posting food. Because every single post she had, right? Am I right? Sam, am I right?
I love food. Everybody's like, why
every
are you
day
always posting?
you would sit in front of a plate of food.
I'm a foodie. I love trying, new restaurants
right,
and trying new tacos.
I begged you to stop. Because it made me so hungry. And by the way, you're like a small person. I'm like, how is she so small and she's eating all this food? It doesn't make any sense.
I go to the gym.
No, you do. And you said you lost 25 pounds, which you didn't have to lose. I don't know what that's all about.
I did. I lost 25 pounds this year.
What was that about? Were you like, I just have to get at it? I want to feel better about it. I'm going to
yes,
it's a grind to run for Congress.
I was just going through a lot of stress, and it helped me a lot. And so now I do prayer as like my pre-workout, and I pray while I'm working out, so that strengthens my faith, and at the same time I'm getting back in shape. So I'm not going to stop that. Not even when I'm back in Congress. I'm like, I need to have a schedule where I'm prioritizing prayer and prioritizing going to the gym every day, because if I'm good mentally, physically, like I'm able to do a better job, not just as a member of Congress, but I am a better mom as well, a better woman, just overall a better friend, better daughter when we're mentally well and physically. I was
going to say, you're a much better friend to me now that you're in better shape. You've always been the same very good friend. It's Mayra Flores. Go to Mayra Flores for Congress. And it's Mayra, Mayra Flores, FOR Congress.com. Go and support her candidacy for District 34. I want to get into that full-throated in a second, the actual run for it. Actually, let's do it now. What the hell are you thinking? Because you ran the first time. Well, you didn't run. You were appointed because there was a special election, right?
I was not appointed, no.
So you ran for the first time. You only had like a couple of years.
Right. No,
How long was your term the first time?
It was about a year.
Okay.
Yes, it was about a year. The member of Congress resigned.
Right.
Filemon Vela.
Right.
And I decided to run for that special election, and we made history that day.
You did, and it was amazing, and I supported you from day one. So you go in there, and then the attacks start flying. They just, I mean,
the far right Latina.
Oh, right, right. I mean, it was so crazy to me that I'm looking at somebody who's a young mother, somebody who's decided to put her regular life aside to go and serve people. Which is, I don't care what side you're on. That's a good thing, unless you're in it for the money, because you weren't.
Did
you expect the attacks you got?
No, I honestly did not see a lot of it coming. I also, I knew what I was doing, but I really didn't understand.
Yeah.
When I decided to run for Congress, I Googled it. I said, how do I run for Congress?
Stop it. You did not Google how do you run for Congress.
I did.
What did Google say?
I'm not kidding. I had gotten involved in local politics.
Yeah.
I did a lot of volunteering. I'm a respiratory care practitioner.
Right.
So afterwards, I would go knock doors and help the local party.
So you knew what was going on in the community already.
Right. I got involved after President Trump's first term, like 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
He inspired me to get involved.
Right.
He made it interesting. He just made it more exciting. I was like, I want to learn more. I want to know more about politics. Yeah. And so I reached out to the local party there in South Texas, started a Hispanic outreach there back in the days.
Yeah.
Just volunteering, that's all. But then after the 2020 results, I was very unhappy. And I said, I can't just sit on the sidelines and allow this upcoming administration to destroy our country.
Which they tried to do.
They tried to do. I look back and I'm not happy with the results of 2020.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it happened because President Trump needed to be in office in this very moment.
Yeah.
And
it's so well said. I mean, without Biden or AutoPen for 4 years, you don't really know how bad it can get. They tried to make it as bad. Open borders, globalists taking over, restricting all of our rights and our freedoms. It almost
destroyed our country completely, but that had to happen for Americans to wake up.
Right.
So even though I wasn't happy with the results, I'm happy that President Trump is our president now.
Yeah.
But also, that inspired me to run for office.
Yeah.
Those results, it's what got me, okay, I'm gonna do this. I Googled it. And I remember it said
Google's very happy about your campaign.
And I remember somebody said to me, but you were born in Mexico.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I looked up the qualifications and I'm a proud American.
Yes.
I love this country. I respect this Constitution. I love South Texas. I want to bring better opportunities here so our children don't have to leave South Texas for better opportunities. Why can't we accomplish the American dream here? Mm-hmm. I just wanted to change South Texas. I wanted the spotlight. Before my special election, no one was really talking about South Texas.
No, they weren't. They weren't at all. And it was assumed to all be blue. It was assumed that entire tier up, butted up against Mexico was a blue area.
Right.
And now it's almost completely red.
Correct.
And I think you had a lot to do with that. I want to get into that in a second, but I want to talk about the attack ads that the guy who's in there now did when he ran against you. I mean, they were taking your face. I didn't understand because you aren't somebody who is in a negative light in anybody's radar, even if they didn't agree with you politically, to take your face and alter it and make you look different and bad. And then laugh about it, then pretend that he didn't do it, but his friend on the radio really did do it. Mm-hmm. When all that's going on, what's going on with you? I mean, when you see that, does it register? Does it make you even want to fight harder? Does it make you want to just quit and say, let me just go be with my kids? What happens when you see that? Because you and I talked about that a lot.
It's a little bit of everything. You do have your moment of weakness where you're like, I'm not going to do this anymore, because you feel like you're being skinned, and that everything is just coming at you, and you're being criticized for everything that you do. If you do it right, if you do it wrong, and you get criticized, honestly, sometimes from both sides.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm just wanting to do the right thing. I wanted to take this away from the Democrats. I never wanted the Democrat Party to ever say, we elected the first Mexican-born Congresswoman. They can never say that. And
Great.
so
I love it.
I wanted to take that
I
because
love that motivated you. That's a great fire.
that motivated me, and also wanting to preserve the American dream. And this country is truly the greatest country in the world. It's done so much for me, for my family.
Yeah.
I felt obligated to do this.
Yeah, but Mayra, how dare they? You know what I mean? How dare they take you and manipulate you to look like you're somebody who
Honestly,
you weren't? And when you approached it, because you were so good, I would have killed somebody, not killed. Not killed people. I would have smacked somebody maybe. But I mean, somebody dared take your image, who you are. Your children can see that they were altering.
And that's
you know what
the
I mean?
hardest part, because my daughters would see that, Mom, that's you, but that doesn't look like you.
Was that to make you drop out? Do you think? Were they trying to push you out by saying, "Look, this will be this mean"? Because it didn't.
No.
It just made you stronger.
No, I mean, like I said, I had my moments, and then I would pray and lean on my faith. And no, I'm not. I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to keep on. But it doesn't get easier. It only gets harder. I mean, I was getting attacked on all kinds of nonsense.
Yeah.
And it does make it very difficult because they don't focus on policy.
Right.
You know, criticize me on my border security policies,
Yes.
on how I stand on, abortion, what's my stand on the economy.
Yeah.
You want to attack me, but attack me on my policies, not on my looks or my personal life.
Yeah.
Like, just because I'm running for office doesn't give people the right, or they're not entitled to say anything about my personal life.
Right.
That I'm just very protective of that.
And you should be. And it was unfair and it was wrong. And we tried to expose it the best we could on my show. And he somehow sneaked out a win. But we talked about that district. That district was what? A Biden 16?
Biden 16. So when I flipped it, it was a Biden +4.
So you made up 12 points in that district.
Yeah, but in that special election in 22,
Yeah, right.
It was a Biden +4.
Okay.
We flipped it for the first time in 150 years.
Wow.
But during that time, redistricting was happening.
Okay.
And so for my reelection, it became a Biden 16 district.
What is that?
So they made it
what a dumb
4
redistricting.
times
Yeah.
harder for me to win my reelection.
And you lost by what?
And the first time we lost by 8, ran again. I said, I'm not giving up. And we lost by 2.
So you made up 14 points.
Yes. T. Mayra did that in South Texas.
Wow.
And I'm very, very proud of that. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to stay in Texas 34, because I looked back and I said, I have an obligation to finish what we started back in 2021.
Yeah.
T. Mayra worked really, really hard, like no one else, because no one was paying attention to Texas 34. Right now, everybody wants to run in the Republican primary.
Right. Yeah, right.
I mean, because we've laid the hard work for them. So
Right.
now it's like we all want to run. So you have a lot of, opportunists wanting to run. But at the end of the day, we're the ones that, cared when no one cared to run in this district.
You're somebody who doesn't take a whole lot of credit for what it is that you're doing. And I love that humbleness about you. But I'll say it. The whole southern tier of Texas is actually counterbalancing what they're trying to do in Austin and Dallas and Houston and El Paso and fill in the blank city.
You're right.
They're all turning very blue, and the southern tier of Texas is now very red.
Yes.
You had a lot to do with that. So
Thank you.
I haven't been down to the area that you're from or where you live. The
You need to
Brownsville
come
area.
down.
I need to, and I want to have some
I'll
of the food
invite
you keep showing
you
me.
to Calacas, one
Let's
of my
go.
favorite.
Let's make sure the food's
Taquerias.
Yeah, I would love that. It would be amazing. But I believe that you had a lot to do with changing that tier
Thank
to
you.
more red. And I think 34 is going to be solidly red this time. And I pray that you're the
Yes.
person who wins. The reason I bring that up is, did you realize that you were waking people up? Hispanic people are generally Catholic or Christian. They're generally very conservative, generally anti-abortion, generally pro-hard work. They're conservative people.
Very
But for
conservative.
years and years and generations, they didn't know that. They were
They did
voting
not.
blue.
Right.
How do you wake an entire community up like that? Because all of a sudden, it's all red. And I
Investing.
think you played a big role.
Thank you. By investing. Prior to me running for office, unfortunately, there was no investments from, the GOP.
Right.
The GOP came in 22.
Why not?
They just,
It's like they blew a whole community off.
they thought that they would never vote for them, But thank God they woke up and they saw,
Yeah,
they
right.
saw the potential, and they saw how, look, we don't have to convince the Hispanic community to be pro-God, to be pro-family,
Right.
pro hard work. That is who they are.
Yeah.
And we're proud Americans. We love this country very much. And so they saw that, and thank God invested in 22 and in 24, and they're going to continue investing in South Texas. And the Democrat Party took us for granted.
Yeah.
They thought, they will always vote Democrat no matter what. And then they left our values. They shifted farther to the left. They abandoned our values.
Yeah.
You know, my dad was a Democrat his entire life.
But a blue dog. He was really a Democrat.
I tell him all the time, Dad, you raised me Republican. You didn't even know it. Back in 2010, when I told him I'm voting Republican, and he was like upset about it. He was like, no puedes votar republicano. I'm like, sí puedo. I'm like, yes, I can vote Republican. And I am, because you raised me Republican, but you don't even know it. All the values align with the Republican Party. And he had a very hard time, but President Trump's first term changed everything for him.
Really?
He has a trucking company. He saw how his trucking business was booming under President Trump's first term, and loved his policies and voted for him.
And your dad voted for Trump?
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yes.
You got him. You got Papa. Okay, I'm glad.
And he became a hardcore, what he calls it now, Hueso Colorado, like Republican.
That's
after
funny.
The Biden administration. He was like, supporting Trump, I was like, okay, I'll support him because of his policies. But after Biden, he's like, no, I'm full-blown Republican. I'm never going to support any Democrats in office. But, of course, the attacks against his daughter played a huge role.
Well, I would imagine, yeah. I mean, that's a protective daddy.
As well. But he had voted for President Trump prior. And my entire family as well. I remember my dad telling my family to vote for President Trump, and my uncles were like, "You're behind. We voted for him in 2016." And
where have you been? We've been doing it. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I mean, when it comes to your family, I think the convincing might be easier. When it comes to the community, though, how do you make them understand that you pulling the lever for the blue isn't what you used to think it was? Like John F. Kennedy would be a Republican today. He would not be a Democrat. So that Democrat Party's dead.
Correct.
And it's been gone for a long time. How do you convince them that you're right?
It's actually a lot more easier than you think.
Is it?
Yes. As soon as you show them what we stand for, they'll vote for you.
Really?
Within minutes.
But you said investment. I took that to mean Republicans weren't even visiting. They weren't even going to these districts.
I was the first Republican to ever knock their door. I was their first Republican to ever knock their door. No Republican had ever knocked their door.
So they opened the door. You said, "Hi, I'm Mayra Flores. I'm a Republican." They didn't close it?
No.
They kept it open?
Well, I introduced myself first,
Right.
I was like, I'm Mayra Flores. I'm Republican.
Right. No,
I just, hi, I'm Mayra Flores, and I'm running for office.
And they were open to hear it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Especially your Spanish speaking. Your Spanish speaking are the most welcoming people.
Right.
And they allow you to talk about what you stand for. And 99% of the time, you convince them right away. Honestly, I've never had someone that I've knocked on the door that has said to me, I'm not going to support you. After they talk to me, after they hear what I stand for, they'll change their mind.
Why do you think it is that Republicans like you, like Trump, have outworked them? And the reason I bring it up, when you said that they weren't investing, they weren't visiting, it reminded me of 2016 when Trump was on the tarmac in Grand Rapids at 3 o'clock in the morning in Michigan to win Michigan the next day. The night before the election in 16, he was there as Hillary was having a martini somewhere. She didn't even go to the Midwest, didn't go to the Rust Belt. And like you said, Republicans didn't go to the southern tier of Texas. Why do you think that is? What woke us up as I'm not a Republican. I'm a conservative. Mm-hmm. What woke us up as conservatives, where we said we should talk to people where Mayra lives. We should talk to people in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We should talk to people in Chicago. They might be ready to vote a different way. Mm-hmm. What woke us up? Do you think? Do you think that you're part of a movement of young Republicans that say, "Hey, you should pay attention to us"?
Yeah, we were a part of a movement back in 2020. Mm-hmm. I was doing Trump rallies, and also, they were doing driving, vehicles, like all these truck.
Like big parades of trucks and
Yes, I remember
convoys, caravans, all that stuff. Yeah,
thousands and thousands, and I would do a lot of lives, spreading the awareness.
Yeah.
Look, we're here in South Texas where everybody thinks it's blue. Look at us, we're supporting President Trump, and they saw a huge shift. Now, South Texas has been shifting towards the Republican Party since 2016.
Really,
an average of 5 to 8 points.
Because their economy got better under Trump the first time?
That's right.
Okay.
Even during the Beto wave, South Texas did not shift backwards.
You mean Robert Francis, right?
Yeah.
Robert Francis O'Rourke, the fourth generation Irish American,
True.
calls himself
Beto. I don't know why I'm calling him Beto.
Sam, take this camera. Beto. Wait, I don't understand. And now, do you realize?
He knew what he was doing.
No, he did. He knew exactly what he was doing. And,
he was doing it because of Beto Quintanilla.
well, you woke them up. I woke them up because we were saying, listen, his name isn't Beto. His name is Robert. And he's saying this. And people, Mayra, you probably ran into this. People thought his mother was Hispanic.
Oh,
She's
wow.
not. And again, there's nothing wrong with being a white guy. I'm a white guy. Who cares?
No.
But I mean, to misrepresent yourself, like my last name is Pagliarulo.
Be proud of who you are.
Pagliarulo, it's Mexican. Vote for me. It's not. It's Italian. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I mean, be who you are, and then win on the issues. He couldn't win on the issues. Why
Democrats
was there
never focus on
Why
the
was there a
issues.
Beto wave? Why did that happen? Why did people fall for the okie doke with that guy?
You know, again, it's all about the investment. You know,
He was there.
He was there. He was showing up, and he was doing, commercials, mailers in Spanish and English.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, our side wasn't doing commercials.
That guy got 4 million votes when he ran against Cruz.
Oh,
That's nuts.
He almost won. And I remember freaking out because I was seeing his signs all over South Texas that, okay, we need to do something.
Yeah.
And I, started knocking doors as well, volunteering for Senator Ted Cruz and making sure that, he won his reelection. And he almost lost. And because of that,
close.
Because of Beto, we lost a lot of House seats.
Please say it right. Beto. It just bothers. The guy bothers me to no end. It's Mayra Flores. Go and vote for her. Not vote for her yet. You'll vote for her when the time is next year.
February.
Right.
Yes.
So Mayra Flores for Congress.com. Mayra Flores for Congress. FOR Congress.com. Go and support her candidacy. District 34, the great state of Texas. When did Trump become aware of you?
Back in...
Because he was a big supporter for a long time, but I just wonder how does your name get in his ear?
In 22, when we made history, he congratulated me, and I'm forever grateful for his support. He's been supporting me since 2022.
Right.
He endorsed me in 22, endorsed me in 24. Yeah. He also asked for my endorsement back in 23.
Yeah.
Right away, I was...
And you helped a lot. You did.
Oh, I traveled with President Trump, spoke at his rallies. I traveled to swing states. We did Hispanic roundtables. And I'm forever grateful that I had that opportunity, that honor.
Right.
For me, getting him reelected was more important than getting myself elected.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. Congress is important, but the president is more important. A lot of times they tell me it's just as important. Okay, it's just as important, but what good would have had it? We would have had the majority and not have President Trump.
And with Harris, that wouldn't have worked.
No. We needed to get President Trump elected. So for me, getting him elected was more important than getting myself elected. Of course, I worked very hard to get myself elected. Yeah. But whenever we lost our reelection by 2 points, I was celebrating.
Yeah, no, you did great.
I was celebrating because Trump was in office. I had forgot about my election.
Oh, stop it.
Oh, I was so happy. I was so blown away. I was like, President Trump is back in office. Yeah. And so for me, it was a big win. He wins, we all win. Yeah. So that's the way I looked at it. And traveled with, to rallies where I spoke and did a couple private fundraisers as well, where he needed to raise millions of dollars to be able to get back in the White House. And so I'm very grateful that I had an opportunity to campaign alongside. And honestly, no disrespect, but in this primary in Texas 34, no one in this Republican primary that I'm running did any of that for President Trump. I mean, some of them didn't.
How many are running? Do we know?
4 or 5.
Why? They know it's going to be a Republican. I get it. Mm-hmm. It's also, by the way, for those who are believing the lies on the left, these 5 new districts that are being created in Texas, 4 of them are going to be Hispanic.
Yeah, Hispanic majority.
The whole lie that it's a bunch of white people trying to get rid of brown people is dumb. But why are they jumping in? They know your relationship with Trump. They know that you made up 14 points in the last election. I mean, why even challenge you? Why do that?
Because
they should support you.
Absolutely. But what they're claiming is Mayra lost twice. And it's a huge disrespect because the map was very different.
They would not have done as well as you did had they run.
And this was a Biden 16.
Yeah.
they don't understand that when I was in office, it was a Biden +4.
Yeah.
Then it was redrawn into a Biden 16. It was an uphill battle. None of them would be running.
No.
If it was still a Biden +16.
I agree. Yeah.
They're running now because it's an R+ district. They
Yeah.
see an opportunity,
Yeah.
but no one has worked harder than Team Mayra. And I'm not saying by myself. No, my entire team has worked very hard since 2021. And so that's why we're leading by 33 points in this primary.
That's a nice lead. That's pretty good.
I mean, it took me 4 years, but we are
that's amazing.
We are leading by 33 points, and a few have said the same thing. Like, what about your primary opponents? Well,
Yeah.
I'm not worried about my primary opponents because of the work that we started years ago.
Right.
But while some of them were voting for Biden and Hillary, because some of them didn't even vote in Republican primary.
Really?
I don't agree with that. If you have not voted in a Republican primary, I think you shouldn't be able to run for office in the Republican.
I'm for it.
Hey,
Sure.
vote in the Republican primary, then show us what you're about. Then you can run as a
Just some of
Republican.
these people could be Democrats in Republican
But
clothing.
because for me, it's like, okay, you're going to vote for the Republican primary for the first time, but for you,
Yeah. Yes.
I'm just worried. We got too many rhinos in Washington.
We do.
I just don't need any. We just don't need any more
Right.
of that. But we're very confident that through our hard work and dedication that we're going to be able to win this primary.
I'm going to do all I can to help you with that because I want you back in there. So the election doesn't go perfectly because you didn't win, although you made up 14 points.
14
How
points.
soon do you make the decision, I'm going to run again? Because at some point, you got to say to yourself, let me go have some food like I've been posting on social media. Let me hang out with the kids and take a break.
Yes.
Did you take a breath for a while?
I
Did you take a
did.
break for a while and then decided, okay, let's do this?
Yes, I took months. And
Okay.
a lot of people said, Mayra disappeared. Mayra was resting.
Right. I would say it's a grueling thing to do to run for office.
And I was also spending time with my kids.
Yeah.
It's a huge sacrifice. When you run for office, you
Yeah.
don't spend a lot of time at home. And so I used all this time to spend time with my children. And then at first I thought, I don't think I could do this.
Yeah.
And I just felt like I had given my all. And then God just gives you strength once again and builds you up. And I started joining the gym.
Yeah. We see your gym posts every day, yeah.
We were just talking about that.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I just got my strength back,
Right.
through faith and through exercise. And I said, you know what, we can do this. And then I heard about the possible redistricting.
Yeah.
And saw how now the district that I have fought so hard is now drawn more favorable to us. It's more fair, and we see the clear path for victory.
Yeah. Do your kids have a vote? Did they get to say, Mom, you should or Mom, you shouldn't?
Yes, of course.
They're on board their team, Mayra?
My all of them will always. My oldest is actually helps me a lot, putting signs, door knocking. No, he's making calls. They're all very involved. But, at times like, Mom, are you sure you want to put yourself through that once again?
Yeah.
They were very hurtful last time. We hate seeing how they attack you.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, that's the part that, especially my oldest, my boys are more protective. They're like, Mom, are you sure you want to do this again? And I said, it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And I know it's hard for them. And it's hard maybe at times for them to understand. But I feel like if we don't fight for this country, they won't have a country.
100%.
And so we have an obligation in making sure that our families, our children are growing in the same country that we grew up in and that they have the same opportunities. Does it take a toll? Yeah, it does. Physically, emotionally, on your family, it does. So right now what I'm doing is prioritizing and being better with my time as well. Having that balance. I wasn't very good at it. I got better at it through time.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that they're on board. I'm guessing if they weren't on board, you might have thought twice about it, but I'm glad that they're supporting you. Yeah.
Absolutely. But I tell my oldest, who at first was a little hesitant, but not for the right reasons. He was more worried about the attacks on Mom.
Looking out for Mom, yeah.
Yes, but I told him this is what I want, and I have to do what I'm called to do.
Mm-hmm.
I said I need to prioritize also myself. What does Mayra want? And because I told my son, I don't want you to go into the military.
Right.
But but that's what you're being called to do.
Yeah.
And you need to do what you're called to do, what God tells you. You know, that gut feeling. He's like, and you're going to do it whether I like it or not.
Right.
So mama has to also do what she's called to do. And he said, yeah, no, you're right. I am going to go into the Air Force and into the military no matter what. I said, okay, well, that's why mama is making this decision.
It sounds like a great relationship, and I'm glad you're communicating like that.
Yes.
Let's talk about President Trump winning. President Trump won. I think there were two key issues, and you can agree or disagree. I think depending on who you are, it's either the economy, because everything costs too much.
It was the economy.
And there were no jobs. But I think secondarily, it's the border. He promised he would close the border.
Absolutely.
Some think the border was more important. Some think the economy was more important. I think those are one and two. One and two. So
they're connected.
You're going to represent a border district. Is it a different worldview when you live there, right across from, right there at the Frontera? Is it a different worldview that you have to be careful what you say about the border? Or do people who are Americans or who are here legally, who happen to live near the border, are they on board with you and me that you shouldn't do it illegally? You should always do it the right way.
Oh.
Is that a different issue at the border or not?
No, everybody believes in legal immigration. You know, most people do not support, even the people of Mexico do not support illegal immigration. Because
really?
Because of the damage and how they were destroying their communities as well, those who were crossing illegally. And they were paying the cartel, thousands of dollars. So that was strengthening the cartel.
What is it, $5,000 or $8,000 per person? And they just drop you off in the river, or they drop you off in the desert.
And so they were,
and people are, it's inhumane,
strengthening a terrorist organization that has the people of Mexico terrorized. So the people of Mexico are against illegal immigration, just like we are here as well. We do support immigration, but legal immigration. I mean, we were seeing thousands of people every single day coming in, and I had never seen anything like that.
And the people who live on this side of the border, that can't be a safe place to be.
No.
Because you don't know who's coming in.
We don't know. And there's good people, yes, but we want the good people to do it the right way.
And they probably would if they knew how to do it.
And if you have thousands and thousands of people coming in, that's where the bad ones come in.
Yes.
And I mean, that's one of the reasons why I strongly believe in law and order. My family did it the right way, and if we can do it, everyone can do it. I know it's a lot of people have told me, well, your dad was an American citizen, so the process is different. Right, but right now at this moment, we have millions of people waiting in line doing it the right way.
Right.
And so it's not fair to give those who cross illegally into this country status and housing while we have people waiting in line doing it the right way. So we need to incentivize legal immigration, not illegal immigration. I'm sorry, but you need to go back and get in line.
Exactly right. I don't know if you knew this, but I grew up in South Florida. And growing up in South Florida, it's nothing but immigrants. My best friend was from Mexico. We had Dominicans. We had tons of Cubans, obviously. Yeah. South Florida now is very red. It turned completely red. Miami-Dade County is red, which blows my mind. So it tells me something that I knew growing up, and I think that you knew growing up. And I think a lot of people watching and listening might not agree to this, or you didn't know about it. Those who come here legally hate illegal immigration more than people who are born here.
Right.
They really can't stand it because you went around me? You got an opportunity. You think you're getting an opportunity.
Nobody likes to be cut in line. Exactly
right. At the movies, at McDonald's, or coming across the border.
It's that simple.
Exactly right. So the people that are here legally see those coming here illegally in two ways. One, you broke the law. You're actually a criminal. It's a crime federally. And number two, you don't love the country that you're coming to. You just want the stuff. You just want the shoes. You know what I mean? Your dad brought the family here to work hard and get that opportunity and live the American dream. Why would somebody work hard and try to work to get the American dream and opportunity if you're getting a free hotel stay and free food and a free phone and free clothing and free education?
You better work hard.
That's the difference. I don't think those who break the law to come here love the country like you do. Do you agree?
No, I agree. And that's why, I strongly support President Trump's, policies in everything that he's doing right now with deportations. He's only implementing the law. I don't understand why the Democrat Party is constantly attacking this administration when Obama had, the most deportations.
The deporter in chief is what they call him.
The deporter in chief. Yeah. And I do not understand why they're, criticizing President Trump for only implementing the laws that Congress passed.
Right, in 1986, and then again in like 1992. You're right. Well, you know why? Because he's an R. He's not a D. So
right.
That's why. So when it comes to what's going on with immigration, you were in Congress. Maybe you weren't when HR 2 passed the House, but it didn't pass the Senate. They didn't bring it up. HR 2 basically just said, let's really follow the law. We don't have to change anything. Just follow the law, make it happen. I think a lot of that was codified in reconciliation. I think a lot of that is going to be codified in something called but what is it called? I had Trey Nails on yesterday. I forget the act that he's working on with the Remove Act. They got the Remove Act. That's why I keep Sam around, my executive producer and daughter. She's amazing. The Remove Act, Troy Nails and Marsha Blackburn are supporting this from the House and Senate. Do we need new laws? Because people say we need a comprehensive reform of immigration laws, or should we just say, let's codify what Trump did the first time, let's codify what he's doing now, because it works?
Yeah, I agree. I also think that we already have the laws. We just need to implement them.
Yeah.
And allow our men and women in Border Patrol and ICE.
Who were treated like garbage for 4 years.
Correct.
Those people were treated like dirt for 4 years, and now I'm guessing you know them.
And they're being treated the same way right now by the Democrat Party and elected officials from the Democrat Party.
Right.
But they're only implementing the laws. I believe we have, the laws already. We just have to allow our men and women to put in place those.
Are they getting the proper support now on the border?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. President Trump has made sure that they have all the resources and the manpower, and we've seen a huge decrease in illegal crossings. I mean, sometimes there's even zero.
Yeah, he said it's zero. I don't believe that it's zero.
Yeah,
really zero?
There's some sectors where it's zero people crossing illegally, because they know that the moment they step into this country, they're being sent back.
Yeah,
we're not putting up with that, what the Biden administration was doing.
Mayra Flores, or Mayra Flores, depending on how you want to pronounce it. MayraFloresForCongress.com is the website. Running for District 34 Republican, great state of Texas. What's the economy like on the border? What's the economy like in Brownsville, in that area, compared to like where we are here in San Antonio? Is it the same? Is it different?
It's different. Of course, the cost of living, is down, but compared to what we're used to, we feel the cost of living is up.
Yeah.
Right? So if you live here, you move to South Texas, you think, the cost of living here is great.
Right.
But for us in South Texas, we're not used to this cost of living, and we think it's too high. And it is. The cost of living is very high all over this country, and that's something that I know the administration is working on, and it needs to be a priority, because at the end of the day, the American people need to have more power of their own hard-earned money.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
We're being overworked. I feel that the American people are being overworked, and they're not being able to enjoy their hard-earned money. They're not able to take their children, their families on a vacation. They're working all the time, overtime, to pay their mortgage, their rent, their car, credit card debt. I mean, we need to give the American people some relief. And we don't have a revenue problem in this country. We have a spending problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
In this country. And the solution is not to make the American people work more.
I'm guessing you liked the no tax on overtime.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm guessing you liked the tax deduction on Social Security. No tax on tips. That's got to be great.
Oh, yes. I was a server.
Right. I was a delivery driver for pizza.
$2.15 an hour. I can't support that.
Right.
So we got to change that.
Well, those are some smart moves to make.
Yes.
Also, if you want Medicaid and you're able-bodied, you got to work 80 hours a month. You and I will work 80 hours in the next 2 days. So workers work 80. We don't even look at the hours, but 80 hours
is free.
Well, right, but they've gotten it for free forever. You've got able-bodied, generally speaking, men with no children collecting Medicaid. You know what I mean? You're paying for their health care, and they're complaining that they have to work 80 hours, 20 hours a week of volunteer work. What is that? That's nothing.
I know, but these are people that unfortunately don't know the value of hard work, and they're used to being given everything, and that's a problem also that we have in this country.
Yeah.
Overall, why do you think farmers, those in ranchers, have a difficult time finding people? We have millions.
You can sit at home and get paid. Why would you go to work? Yeah.
Right, but we have millions of people unemployed. Why are they not reaching out to the ranchers and farmers if they could go and work?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
But a lot of them feel like, well, I'd rather get unemployment or get government assistance than working in the fields.
I work in the fields. I would drop fries. I would deliver pizzas. It didn't matter to me.
Money it's better than no job. A job is a job.
Exactly. It also changes your outlook, doesn't it? It changes your sense of self, your self-confidence. You get a paycheck. You worked for it. That makes you feel good.
That's why I'm so glad that I worked in the cotton fields with my parents. We went to Georgia and we did the onions one summer.
Oh, really?
We never went back to Georgia. As a matter of fact, I haven't gone back to Georgia ever since.
I've never seen an onion field. Does it stink? Does it smell like onions?
Oh my gosh, it's so hard. God bless these people.
How deep are they? They're like really down in the dirt?
Yes, but they pay you per costal.
Like a bushel of them.
Yeah, and then the scissors. I mean, these people are like, and I'm like barely learning. And then I didn't wear gloves. So the next day I had, I had sores blisters all over my hands. And I remember telling my dad, I can't do this. And my uncles were like, oh, we're going back to the valley. We're going back to South Texas. I'm not kidding. One day, and all my dad's brothers, drove back to South Texas.
They said, we're done.
We're done. My sister, who's only like a year, only a year difference, said, I'm leaving with my aunt. Because my dad was like, well, we'll stay a little longer.
And you stayed?
I stayed. But I told my dad, I'll work in the manufacturer because it was easier. Yeah. All you had to do was get rid of the ugly onion. So as they were passing by, you would just throw the ugly one. And so I was standing for about 8 or 9 hours.
You were the ugly onion picker.
And I was like, throwing that. But we never went back to Georgia ever since. But I had an awesome experience. And my dad was the one bringing down all the onions, and me and my mom. And my little sisters would stay in the office while we worked. And we did that one summer. Wow. But we never went back.
I can't even imagine. I would not be in the onion fields. I've worked some jobs, but
I've done it all. Yeah. I was a server as well. And then, of course, later on I became a respiratory care practitioner. But I'm so glad that I was able to do all these types of jobs because I understand what our farmers are going through, our ranchers are going through, but I also understand how hard this work is. And so I'm very mindful and thoughtful and forever grateful to these people that do this job because a tomato doesn't just magically end in your table.
No, it doesn't. And I think you're absolutely right about that. It's Mayra Flores. Go MayraFlores.com, MayraFloresForCongress.com. Go and support her there. Or you say Mayra, as I've been saying for the past 5 years. Tony Gonzalez says Mayra, so maybe I'm saying it wrong. At the end of the day, I love that you're running again. I want you to win. I want you to be there, and I want you to represent us. Let me just ask you a couple of last questions, and I really appreciate the time and the fact that you came in studio today.
Thank you.
When you go to Congress, when you first, because you said you were bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, you Googled it. How do you be a congressperson? So you win, you go. What was different immediately that you didn't expect? Did people come up and say, we want you to vote with us, want you to go to this? Did they try to tell you what to do?
I was never pressured to vote in any way.
Okay.
I was never pressured to vote in any way. I had a great team where we all got together, met, and made sure that the bills were read and that we reviewed everything. Right. I was sleeping maybe 2-3 hours during that time. Really? Because I wanted to do a really good job. I wanted to make sure that I was voting for the right things, regardless of the politics. That I'm going to do what's right. A lot of people did say, Mayra, if you vote for this, it's going to be more difficult for you to win your reelection. So there's this bill called the Safer Communities Act. Okay. And I love it how they'll name these bills something. It
doesn't mean that at all, right?
No. Yeah. You read them and you're like,
well, it's like the Affordable Care Act is not Affordable Care Act.
And you're like, actually, it's not what the title of the bill it is, and very deceiving. Yeah. Because they know that most Americans are not going to read the bill.
Most Americans want safety, and it sounds like they'll get it.
Right. And so they'll just read the title of the bill. And that's something that really frustrated me during the time that I was in Congress. Wow, we've been lied to. We've been deceived into thinking that this is what the bill's about, and it's not. And I said, no, this bill is actually going against good law-abiding citizens that own a gun. Yeah. And I'm not for any red flags.
You're from South Texas.
I'm like,
so you're not gonna
nobody's taking my gun away. No. No one's going to mess with our guns. Right. So I was like, no, this is not right for me. I said, well, you could possibly lose your reelection if you vote for this. I'd rather lose my reelection than vote for
I love that.
Than vote for that bill. And so. But I was never pressured or told to vote for certain bills. Right. But right away I realized, wait a minute, these jobs are for the everyday American. We were lied to, and they made us believe that these positions are only for people who go to Harvard University, or that you have to be a lawyer. No disrespect to lawyers, but we got plenty of you in Congress. We need more people of the everyday. We need
Someone
nurses.
say too many of you in Congress. I'm going to put it out there.
Sorry.
I'll say it.
But we need nurses. We need teachers.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, we need law enforcement. We need moms. We need fathers. We need the everyday American to start running this country, because they will understand. We understand what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck. And that when we vote on something, it's going to impact real people's lives, like real pockets. It's not just a no or a yes. No, it's going to impact people. So you got to think it through. And so I think
you sure you're not Italian? You do a lot of this. You're not Italian? Are you sure?
No, I'm just, I'm not Latina, so I'm very passionate.
No, I love it. It's Mayra Flores for Congress.com. Go there.
And so, these jobs are for us, for the everyday American. I'm here to tell you that within a few days, I was like,
and you represent
how did they get here?
Yeah.
At first I was like, how did I get here? And then I was like, how did they get here?
No, I think that's a great perspective, and I think we need more people like you there. You're right. You represent the community better than somebody who's a Harvard lawyer, which is a very rare thing, to be honest. But a lot of them are in Congress somehow. Let me ask you this: going in next time, and again, I pray that you win.
Thank you.
Going in next time, you're better prepared. You're ready for it. You're going to hit the ground running.
Absolutely.
You learned a lot the first time?
I've learned a lot the first time, but I've learned a lot throughout the years. I've gone through a lot of good times, a lot of bad times, and losses are not really a loss. It's made me stronger. It's made me wiser as well. God has given me so much grace. So who am I not to give those, who've attacked me, grace as well. So I've matured and I've grown a lot. I mean, that's what life's about. Every year we grow and we become better. So no, I'm definitely a lot more prepared, and I value friendship and loyalty a lot more now.
Good.
Because, it's
you found out who your friends were through that,
Yes, I've seen what a position does to people, a position of power. They make it their entire identity. And so, yes, I tell people all the time, I ran for Congress to protect the American dream. Being in Congress is not the American dream.
Right. No, I agree with you,
so I don't want to be in Congress forever. I do not understand why people would die in Congress. It's crazy to me. It's not my entire identity. And unfortunately, a lot of members make it their entire identity. They can't do anything but Congress. Right. And I'm so much more than that.
I love it. Mayra Flores for Congress.com. Go there and support her. Let's finish with this. Something fun, something light. What do you do for fun? What do you do in your downtime? What do you like to do?
I like to exercise.
Right.
I like to spend a lot of time with my girls and, my boys too. Just having dinner, just barbecuing, outside, and just spending time with family. I value that so much because I'm away. So being with family means everything to me. But I love exercising. I love being outdoor. I love running. It's the little things that
I cannot run. I can lift up heavy things, but I can't run very well.
It's
I'm
the
not a
little
runner.
things that I value more. Being surrounded by, by my loved ones. That's what I value the most.
I love that. Again, go and make sure you support her candidacy. You don't have to be in District 34 to support her. Go to MayraFloresForCongress.com and go support what she's doing.
Join our fight.
Yeah, I love that you came in today. I love that we've done this in person. We've got to do more of this as we get closer to the election.
I could not miss it. I was in D.C. I had a 6 a.m. flight. I had
no idea that you did all this today.
Yes, I got about 4. I said, no, I can't miss it this time. I got to make it in time. So I flew here, and then, of course, I had my amazing friend waiting for me here in San Antonio.
She is amazing. She's been great. Thank you so much for coming on. We have to do it again.
Absolutely.
Now, can I know why you were in D.C.? Was it for something official or not?
Yes, but
you can't tell me.
I can't tell you.
See, that's why she has to come back for part 2, the sequel with Mayra Flores. Mayra Flores for Congress.com. Thank you so much for coming to my friend. It's so good to see you in person. And we'll talk again very soon. That's going to do it for Unshaken and Unafraid with Joe Pags. For this time, make sure you share this with everybody. Another one to drop very soon.